One second.
Are we ready to start?
Start with introductions. All right. We're ready to start.
Good morning. It's a little after 9. It's November 24th, 2025. Continuing negotiations between Pasco Hernando State College and the United Faculty of Florida. We both just exchanged some proposals, so unless you have a different suggestion, since ours is a little bit lighter, I'll go over that first and I'll turn it over to you all. As you can see, we've presented a couple of, based on our discussions last time and continuing crunching of the numbers on the compensation, we modified our prior proposals a little bit. In particular, on section 6.1, we added back to the reduction in force provisions subsection B. In our prior proposal, we had eliminated that section, and the union had questioned that in terms of advance notice of potential layoffs. So we added back that we'll endeavor to have 6 months notice, but rather than 45, no less than 2 weeks notice. And the rest of that, Dr. Billy, correct me if I'm wrong, is the same as our prior proposal. Looking over page 2 on self-explanatory, but Article 8.8, we indicated last time, inadvertently left out the provisions related to summer instructional assignments. So we added that back in, and you see 8.8A, that full-time faculty receive initial consideration for summer teaching assignments. And then for compensation articles related to prior policy, we crunched numbers and now have the minimums and maximums included in the various ranks. We crunched the numbers in addition to the 3% raise, across the board raise. The budget came out to an additional 5% on top of that, for a total of 8% raise that we're proposing. Right, as you can see, the ranges will move as well. Everything else, I think, stays the same and is self-explanatory. Any questions to that, or if not, please cover your proposal. We also the ratio, the clinic and lab ratio will be implemented as well.
I have to sit here and think for a minute. Okay.
We're looking at the proposal that you all gave us. It's going to take us a few minutes.
So from the A, I know the instructor, assistant professor, associate professor, and professor, those definitions change from level 3 to 2 plus 30 and 1. But when I'm looking at this, all of those starting salaries actually, or some of the starting salaries went down and some went up. So if we pretend that professor and level 1 are the same, the highest starting salary that a faculty can come in at is 55 right now, whereas it used to be 58,696.
That was for 200 days.
We only have 162 days ever.
If you read there, it says 200.
So that's weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was there already. That I didn't know why.
Okay. I don't know either. So then the one above that, which Is it level 1 on the first, it's not on the first page, okay.
So for 162, it's 47.54.
Okay, so the starting salaries are going up,
Yeah,
okay. Then one thing I noticed in the full proposal was that, let me find it. I don't have the old one, but it said that faculty cannot start off as a professor title,
Mhm.
but then how is the starting salary professor there?
I mean, we said associate professor. I mean, we just put it there so that, we know what the minimum would be. It doesn't mean that.
Can I maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had somebody, it was non-contract, but if you had a non-tenured staff position, you need to have the starting salary. So it'll be on the range.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
We have to provide a range, yeah.
Or we could put an NA there.
Yeah.
And then, but we'll have it on
Yeah.
compensation side, because we will need it for any position that we're
We need
non.
to have some range.
For audit purposes,
Yeah.
we have to know, they have to know what's the range that we have to pay, so we can't pay below or above it when we're audited, so. We can leave an NA on there if that would be the choice, so it's more clarity, or for this purpose, on the compensation guide, I have to be able to show a range.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, we'll have to talk about that then. Teresa made with the track changes, and then we did accepted or rejected the changes, and then did comments of whether we accepted or rejected all the changes. So we did comments and track changes. So actually, do we want to go back to the beginning and do introductions? So we're on live stream right now on YouTube, and I don't, not everybody knows everybody. So,
Sure. My name is Gina Riccovato. I'm Department Chair of Communications and Associate Professor of English at Spring Hill Campus.
and I'm Caitlin Guiley, and I am a professor of biological sciences at Porter Campus.
My name is Rebecca Whitlock. I'm a professor of humanities at Porter Campus.
I'm Patricia Stewart, I'm also Dean of Nursing. Pamela Dadalski, paralegal.
Shereen Thompson, Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Lori Gabbard, Dean of Nursing and Health Affairs.
Maria Jess Huntington, Associate Dean of Arts and Sciences.
Good morning, Prashant Kohli, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Stormy Knight, Vice President of Policy, Budget, and Administration.
Brian Koji with Allen Norton Blue.
Good morning, Teresa Montanez, Associate Vice President for Human Resources.
Great, thanks. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll just go section by section. For Article 1, recognition, this is a right, and so we will not be agreeing to waive our right. And that's for recognition. Section 1.2, we accepted the additions of the definitions. I think that's really helpful. Yeah, I was getting there, yeah. And then there was 2 corrections that we talked about last time. On the 3rd page, supplemental course, this has the 225 hours for clinical. I just took out nursing to make it general. We had talked about that. And then we did look it up, and it should be 50 for contact hours. So that was just a correction. Yep, all right, cool. All right. Going down to supremacy and severability, that's another right that was tried to remove by administration as a proposal. So again, we are refusing to waive our right, our legal right to grieve a violation of this article, so that's a no.
guard.
Supremacy and severability, section
2.2.
2.2. Non-discrimination, we are not agreeable to deleting that. We would want to postpone that discussion to a later date. Going to union rights. We did accept all the changes to union rights. There was the dues deduction deletion, which was after a change in the law, so that's fine. We accepted the addition of during standard work hours. We accepted the change from 2 weeks before the orientation to just prior to the orientation. And we accepted the changes for access to information. So we would be ready to TA union rights. All of the proposals that the administration had submitted we're fine with, so we can TA union rights.
Let's go through the whole thing and then we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah, okay. Article 4 is management rights, and again, we're ready to TA on this. So the changes, we're just kind of making it more succinct and clear, so we accept those changes and are ready to TA on Article 4. For grievance procedure, it's mostly the same, but there was a waiver put in, and we will be rejecting that waiver as well. It's in 5.3 E4. We don't have page numbers, but right above other provisions. So again, this is a waiver of our right. We will not be agreeing to that. For reduction in force, Article 6. We are proposing to keep the 45 days prior notice and keep the salary and benefits. So for the reduction in force, these would be due to various reasons, but none of them should really be a surprise. And most of them would probably be at the conclusion of the academic year. If a program is ending, you need to teach the students out and everything. So it just doesn't seem like that 45 days should be a problem. And then faculty will have signed a contract for 162 duty days. We sign a contract in the fall saying that we will work 162 days, and the administration will pay us this amount and provide having to go through a search process, just 2 years. And if they're not available, they would just state that. We're not interested.
Which was
That 6.3 recall.
6.3, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we went from 1 to 2?
Correct.
Okay.
From 1 year to 2 years. 1 year to 2 years.
If I can just interject.
Sure.
For knowledge, the board rule currently does say 1 year. It's a board rule.
Okay. Well, this is our union contract, so, yeah.
No, just for clarity.
Sure.
for the group.
Next page. Next page. There was also a administration proposal to change the accept any offer of reemployment pursuant to this section must be accepted within 5 days. Previously, it had been 15. We are rejecting that change. People don't, it might be a personal email they don't check all the time, so just another 10 days, so 15 days total seems reasonable. All right. Faculty evaluations, we accepted the additions and changes. A couple changes that we're proposing on 7.3, the next page. We added 1 week notice prior to classroom observations. If you're having an exam, it's not much of a classroom observation. So if we have 1 week advance notice, we might change something around or schedule a different day. And we agreed to the exceeds expectations, meets need improvement, unsatisfactory, not applicable. We agreed to the every 3 years having a classroom observation for continuing contract faculty. We did modify as the proposal, this section 7.4 evaluations calendars. I think it's really helpful to have those calendars. But to simplify it, we changed it to week 12, week 13, because the calendar dates can fall differently each semester. And we pushed it a little bit back. Those are deadlines, so they're certainly possible for deans to do evaluations prior to week 12, but this would be the end of the limit, and then it's clear that all of these actions get completed each semester. Okay. Any questions? You doing okay?
I'm gonna have to look at that clarification.
Sure, yeah.
Just, so when we say week 12, which semester is that?
That would be we would need to add in, that would be the fall.
That'd be full term.
Yeah.
If I can, maybe direct you to the note that was below that, where it said if it falls
Yeah.
on a weekend, holiday, or non-working day, it would be the workday, the prior workday to it. I think that's easier to follow than week 12 and 14, because there's no reference for it for people. Like an actual deadline, it's the day before that, then I think it's easier for people to understand than the week 12, 13, 14, because there's no reference for that for the, payroll for, all the other people, HR, we don't have a calendar. If you said week 12, 13, 14 for us, that's payroll weeks. So
Okay,
I think it could cause some confusion, just putting
okay.
it out there.
It can be correlated to whatever date you think is approximate to that. I was the one who proposed that language because I do evaluations as department chair. And this is a very realistic set of deadlines for that, given that it's not just deans who do this, it's also department chairs. So you have to factor in, the way that the semester rolls. But I'm sure we can correlate dates to those, we use weeks when we think
Right.
about our semesters. So, and the deans probably think in terms of weeks too, possibly. So it's up to you how you can fill that in, but those are the ranges I think would really work in practice for people.
And if we did have a change in academic calendar, like, sometimes we used to have 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, and now we have 1 week after Thanksgiving, and this would keep it that we have a 15-week semester that is just standard, so that would keep all of that. If we end up shifting one way or another, or whatever. All right.
Can I maybe propose if you wanted to do it this week 13, but no later than? or
Sure.
Put in parentheses an actual date.
Yeah, kind of orient,
That's fine.
that would be orient both ways of thinking. Okay. For Article 8. We want to talk about the 35 hours versus, we had proposed 33 hours. We'll talk about that during caucus and return.
Now that we have the financials.
Yeah.
We'll revisit, okay, so.
For 8.1C, we did clarify what would go in those hours that are not office hours or teaching hours. And it said may be used to engage campus and college activities, grading and class preparation, or professional development activities. We had it kind of broad, and that last time you guys said that did include grading and class preparation. And then adding the professional development activities to clarify what those hours after contact hours and office hours. Okay, course scheduling. We want to keep the 2 sections of the course for SMEs. Under 8.2F, I think this was included in your other proposal, but having preference. So this says assignment of supplemental sections. Full-time faculty members who declare an interest in being assigned to extra pay courses shall have priority in assignment to such sections up to 9 ECH in the fall and spring terms and 9 ECH in the summer term. So the max for summer was not defined before. And we want to keep the 24 credits as a max. That's coming up in a minute. I'll talk about that again. We accepted the change for the syllabus and the office hours, clarification about where both those can be located. There are some changes to the office hours notification. We accepted that, as well as the accommodations deletion. Under 8.5B, we just copied and pasted Board Rule 3.06 there, and it says each full-time faculty member shall teach a minimum of 15 classroom contact hours during fall and spring. A classroom contact hour consists of a regularly scheduled 1-hour period of classroom activity in a course of instruction which has been approved by the board. And that's just from Board Rule 3.06. 3.07 was outdated and had all the multipliers, which we're not keeping, so. All right, and then we're proposing to keep our teaching load at a max of 24 credits, with the caveat that if a faculty is on a performance improvement plan or a PIP, they may be limited to 21 credit teaching load. So we did go through the contracts of the other union colleges across the state, and 24 was the most common maximum overload, is 24 credits. And I can show you all that if you want it. So we're keeping the 24.
The 24 is because they're over 30 credits.
Over 30?
Yeah, so ours is 15, so we are total 30 credits for the year.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the other institutions are either 36 credits for the year.
But then how would they have an overload of 24?
So according to SACS, that's where we're running into the issue with SACS this year, because our policy is very clear. It says you can go up to 24, and that's what I'm waiting on our SACS, what do you call that, review to come back, and that was the hardest one we had, because if you look at it, we are at 30 credits, 15 for fall, 15 for spring, a total of 30. So if a faculty is teaching 24 and another faculty is teaching 24, so between 2 faculty, you're teaching
48.
48, which is like a time and a half. So you're teaching 3 loads and a half.